Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our listeners out there or viewers. I am Maggie, and welcome to our first annual weekly podcast of the little podcast that could. I'm Maggie,
And I'm Big Jaw, but I am little.
and he's on Ozempic, so don't get him twisted.
Please.
I'm giving Ozempic. I'm giving Ozempic face, Ozempic body, Ozempic waist,
all of
honey.
all of the things when we get our endorsement
This
from Ozempi,
this podcast is
episode
sponsored by
2.
Ozempic.
Right. And yeah.
And so this is the little podcast that could. Thank you so much for tuning in to our very first episode. We are so happy to have you. And we are going to talk about all of the good things, Black Twitter. We're going to talk about the hot topics. We're going to have a lot of hot takes. We're a little bit unpopular in terms of the opinions. And we're going to talk about the
We
Bravo
definitely are.
universe.
And I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, I think this could be a great podcast for you. If you're not into that kind of thing, I still think this would be a great podcast for you, just because you should be.
Always be into that sort of thing. I feel like you're going to like us. You guys will like us. Y'all stay a while. We believe in you guys.
And if you don't leave a comment.
Let's get some real time feedback. Go ahead and leave a comment.
Right.
Don't leave a comment because some of the stuff we're gonna say is gonna be a little hot.
And I respond hotter.
No, you're gonna be deleting the comments. But
Right.
yes.
Block, 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 block. JK, JK, JK.
But yes, how was your weekend, Ja?
My weekend was pretty grandpa. I think I could have did a little more. It would have been nice to have like a move, but I still had fun. I went out to my friend's house and we just kind of hung out. We had good therapy talk time, which is always needed, life of a star. Um, and yeah, but I had a good weekend. I had a fun week. I had a very busy week. So what about you? I saw you was at the pool.
I was at the pool. We took little baby girl to the pool. She had her sunglasses on and she was just living life, living it. She's just a diva and she's just that girl 100%. She's that baby. She's that girl. She's
I'm
that
screaming.
infant.
$1 million
$1 million
baby.
baby. She's just $1 million baby, 100%.
She definitely was giving that in the pool with her shades, and then she had her swim cap. I was like, these kids nowadays. Back in my day, we didn't have swim
Back in
caps.
my day, we just threw your ass in the pool. Just hoped you floated.
Hello, and hope you floated. Like, and if you didn't, why you get in the pool and you didn't know how to swim?
And you sunk like a stone to the bottom, and you were just—that's what it was. Now they got pool floats, they got sunglasses, they got SPF sunscreen.
They got all types of stuff. Like, I was looking like, sheesh,
That is
living the life.
that is funny. Yes,
At 7
at
months.
7 months, she's 7 months today. So yes, shout out to all the first-time mothers. Get on Ozempic. That's really
And
what you
happy
need to do.
happy belated Mother's Day to all the mamas.
Happy
All
belated
the
Mother's Day.
mamas.
All the mamas, the new moms, the old moms, the OG mamas. Happy Mother's Day.
Hmm. Speaking of mamas, Miss Mamas got ate up by Kendrick.
Not Miss
Um,
Mamas.
Miss Mamas got ate up.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, who?
Yeah. Yes. Speaking of mamas, what did you think of? So we're kind of like a little behind on our Kendrick and Drake, take, but I feel like it's still relevant. Apparently, Kendrick got the number 1 song in the country with "Not Like Us," or "They Not Like Us." Y'all know the song, and so. What do you think of the rap beefy mans? Because I feel like it was kind of boring at first. It was kind of like, okay, they're grumpy and like, oh, grump, and now it's like, oh, they talking big man words. I'm scared.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Jump scared. I think for me, one, I have an unpopular opinion, hot take. I guess I'm just not from the West Coast. I don't really understand what everybody's
I'm
dancing
screaming.
to at Not Like Us. I don't understand why that's people's calling that the song of the summer. I'm like, is there not no other?
You don't like
There's
it?
not no other songs for the summertime we can listen to.
I'm screaming. I mean, I do think I think the verses are a little wordy. I think he gets a bit, African American studies, a bit
Not African.
technical with like criminal law, criminal justice
Mm-hmm.
in the verses. But I think the choruses are a good time. I think it's funny. For yes, niggas in the city, like that part is hilarious. Like, I think it's a good silly time, and I think that's why people like it because it's Kendrick, so it's going to be a little wordy, but it also has a little silliness to it that's like essentially he's clowning Drake at the same time of like being like high, like very high level at the same time. So it's like good little balance.
But my thing is like, is there not another song for the summer?
I mean, for the blacks, I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know if
know.
that's
I don't know.
it
They're
for
all going to
me.
jail.
Megan, who else could really show up?
I like Megan's new song. I like Megan's new song. The
What is it?
oh, you grandma,
Oh God,
grandma.
what's it called?
It's BOA, I think,
Bank of
and it's called
America?
and I no like a boa, like a
Bow?
snake.
Oh,
Oh, bow, bow, bow. No, it's like a snake, I think, and it's how's it go? Yo, time up. That part. I like
I
that
think
part.
for me,
Bitch, yo, time
I'm
up.
enjoying Glorilla right now. Yeah, glow,
I'm tired
step
of
up,
Glorilla Summers.
with some shell toe. That's a hit. That's a hit right there.
I'm tired of hearing Glow. Glow keeps promoting violence.
I like it.
At
She's,
least at least Kendrick is telling the pedophiles to stay their ass inside.
but who's at
And
the club talking about a pedophile at the club though? Like of the summer.
I'm just saying.
How are you dancing to that like at the club in the summertime? I don't know. I just feel
I'm gonna
like
fuck him up. Bow, 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 bow. Why am I do my stub?
I just feel like
That's how you dance to it.
I just feel like it says a lot that that's the song of summer. That means we have no songs. It's May. It's May 19th.
I
Somebody do what we
mean,
need to do.
I feel like we even had really good songs of the summer in general
We
for a
haven't.
while.
Since the City Girls came out.
Like that, I'm like last when I think of like last time I was like, oh, song of the summer, like it was like everybody pretty much liked it. It got played every cookout. Last thing I can think of is like maybe was Cuff It released in the summer?
Cuff It was
I feel
it.
like it.
Cuff It was it.
Yeah, I'm like
Cuff It took a while for people to like though, because it was released
yeah.
and
So
then it
I'm like
was like all of a sudden, like a year later, it was everywhere.
so I'm like I don't know. But also too, we're
Okay.
skipping all over the place. But what did you think about the Kendrick diss and the Drake one too? Because I think they both did good. The one where he like addressed the son and the baby mama and the daddy, like that one
That one was hurtful.
was intense.
That was intense. And that's when I think Kendrick officially won. Like that was the one where he
Yeah.
won. It didn't really matter what else Drake released moving forward. Kendrick had won. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of the energy after that one. And so it's like it didn't matter. And then I know Drake had decided, like, oh, I'm gonna come out and say, hey, we gave you the wrong information. I don't have a daughter, this and this. And it's like, we don't
Mm-hmm.
care, girl. We just
At
like that
all.
first little diss that he gave and he ate you up. It don't matter if he was telling lies or truths. He ate your ass up.
And also and also you have a bad track record of having babies in silence. So it's like,
Mm.
I mean, you never know with you, Miss
We don't
Mamas.
trust that you would tell us the
You
truth.
the mama.
The grandma's the baby.
You the mama. The grandma is the baby. Like, so I thought that one was actually very disrespectful. I think Drake's long these diss tracks be long as
It do be
hell.
long.
They be having a lot to say. I'm like, that's crazy. But his was good too. It was 7 minutes. So I listened to it once. I'm not gonna lie to you. But he definitely got all, Drake definitely got all his vengeance for everybody in his. It's just that Kendrick's just was
It
so
was just,
personal that
yeah.
he just ate him up.
He got ate up and it didn't really matter. He should have just stopped right there and just saved the studio time money, saved the beat, the money that he paid for the beat. And I'm a Drake
He
fan.
he should have thrown a free concert in a black city and like would have had 2-3 million people show up and just that would have been
Bennett, he didn't need to get
iconic.
back on the verse.
And like, look, I don't need to argue with you because people
Love
love me
me.
so damn much. That would have ate. What he's doing now is kind of like now they got BBL Drizzy, the
That's a good beat.
BBL Drizzy.
BBL.
I'm like
Yeah, he got
embarrassing.
embarrassed, and I'm a Drake fan, and it really hurt me because now I feel like I have the ick from him, and I feel like I've never had the ick from him before, but now I'm like, we can never be together. Ew, you're kind of corny, you know?
I mean, he's been corny a minute. I think something about a 30, like real objectively, he's 36 years old with like hair bows in his
That's true.
head
And painted nails, objectively.
and painted nails and allegedly a
BBL.
BBL.
They said he got ab
So
etching. They said his abs are etched on. He looked good
you
to
know,
me. You know what I'm
if
saying?
I just think if you were to meet a man like Drake at your local sports bar, you would be like, "Who is this
That's
clown?"
fair. That's
Like,
fair. That's
like
fair. That's fair. It's a certain type
it's
of woman that would date
very.
him. That's fair.
And I think he's a celebrity. He can get away with it. He's an artist. He can get away with it. But I'm like, realistically, in the real world, and where 99% of the population lives, you're a creepo.
Yeah, and
Like,
you think a little too high. Like he's the type of guy that you see at the club, and he thinks a little too highly of himself, and really wants you to like
hmm
also think that way. And you're like, dude, we're at the club. Like, calm down.
Also, he's that 36-year-old man that's at the club every weekend, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and there till closing, and gets his tab at the end of the night. They have to come say, "Hey, buddy, your tab,
And goes home with like a
your tab.
23-year old, and you're like, aren't you
We're about to
37?
close. Yeah, we're about to close to pay your tab, and it's like $3,000 because he bought everybody a hookah and everybody a
But
margarita.
here's the thing: if you're an
So
Atlanta girly, and you used to live an Atlanta girly life, that is the type of dude that you go out to the club to meet because, baby, you're gonna have
to
a
me,
good
right,
time. You're gonna
good
have a good
time.
time rocking with Drizzy. You be like, let me see if Drizzy at the club tonight.
And he's gonna be there next weekend too, being
At that
desperate.
same club because he got a favorite club he goes to, and every time you gonna
So
smoke that hookah, you gonna drink that bottle. Period. So I mean,
him and his weird
is
hairstyles.
growing and
Mm-mm-mm.
maturing, realizing that like Drake is ick is like that part of like a natural progression of a woman coming into her womanhood. It's like all of a sudden you're
I
like, something's up with you.
I don't know if he's necessarily all the way ick as much as like I think he's lost the plot a little
That's
bit
fair.
on like what a rapper that's almost 40 should be giving. Like he could have went Jay-Z, but it looks like he's going a little Kanye where it's like, oh,
Mm,
you're it's getting
mm.
weird. It's getting
I feel
weird.
like he's giving Soldier Boy.
And
I don't know even know if he's giving Kanye. Kanye's married with kid was married with kids at some point. I think Drake.
yeah, and
I
that's what I'm
think
saying.
Drake will
Like
never
Kanye
get
cleaned it
married.
up for a minute. I don't see Drake getting married because also there's no celebrity. I don't know who the black celebrity woman that would marry Drake at this
He would
point.
have to marry like
Like
a
I think
nobody.
Rihanna was his best bet.
Mhm.
I think Rihanna was his best bet, and obviously he lost that bet. So I just don't know who it could be that would make sense. I think Drake is someone kind of like in the vein of a Kanye and Jay-Z, where it's like you have to have a spouse who is equal relevancy
Yeah.
to you to be like you can't just have no like Snoop Dogg for instance has like a
Like a
regular wife or
realtor.
like
Can't be like a realtor.
like LL Cool J has like a regular wife.
hmm
I'm like Drake can't just date. Like it has to be someone that has some like clout about her and like real clout, not like Instagram girl clout.
Yeah,
Like
my conspiracy theory is ever since Rihanna decided that she was not interested in Drake and did not want to continue to pursue things, he's been a woman scorned ever since.
I mean, yeah, and I think it sucks. It's
It's
sad
when
for
you lose
him
somebody like Rihanna,
because she liked him before the beard, and now he has the beard, he has the braids, he has the flat tummy tea, and he still can't get Rihanna.
and Rihanna has the
Nicki's
children.
married.
Nicki's married. He could have. I honestly
There's
think him and Nicki could have made sense, though. I think he's just younger than Nicki.
Nicki wasn't going for that.
Yeah, Nicki wants a criminal.
Hello.
Nikki wants a criminal
So
to be with. She wants to be with somebody who's committed real crimes before. That's what she wants to be with.
exactly, like she needs somebody that can handle her.
I did like the
She
Meek
needs somebody that's
Mill
going to match her
era. I
freak.
like the Meek Mill era of Meek and Nick. Whoa.
Okay.
I'd like to. What they're gonna gonna do Meek and Nick, baby. I liked it.
I Meek Mill is just a little too corny for
That's
me.
fair.
Like I just think he's a very weird. So we're gonna come back to Meek
Okay.
Mill, or people related to Meek Mill later in this conversation. But
Who won the diss?
uh,
It's definitely Kendrick won, and I
it's
hate
Kendrick.
that that
It's
happened
Kendrick.
because I do think Drizzy gives something for the girls to dance to, but
No, I'm happy that Kendrick won because I think Drake has been the only rapper. Like when you think about it, like there's all these like new rappers for like the young people that no one knows who they are. Like our age, like we don't know their names. We like to hear the songs and we know they're popping. But it's like for like the rappers that we grew up with that had real album releases
mhm.
that people really like listened to, dissected. Like I feel like Drake's the only rapper that's been really dropping releases that people are playing. And I think his head has gotten too big. So I think he needed Kendrick to come
That's
in here and
fair.
let him know, like, I can eat you up if I want to. I can make a hit song too. Like, you ain't the only man out here. Like, you just choose to be childish. We can all be
That's
childish.
fair.
And I think that's not, I think he needed it. I think
That's
he
fair.
needed
He
it.
needed some humbling. I will say because he was humbled this bad, he's gonna drop the song of the summer. How much do you want to bet? He's going back into the lab and he's saying, "I'm winning a Grammy off my next one." How much you want to bet?
I can see that because the thing about Drake is like the girls are always going to play Drake. They're always going to eat him up. All the lame men that don't know who to play in the car on their dates are always going to play Drake. So he's always going to get a Spotify play
He's gonna be on
no
Spotify
matter what.
rap playlist no matter what.
Like he's always going to get a stream. But I just think, he got ate up and I think it was healthy for him.
It's a little healthy competition. I think he thought he was the Beyonce of rap, and there's a lot of
And Beyonce would never go out this sad.
would never,
Ever.
never. Would not Beyonce wouldn't even give you the
Like,
opportunity to try her in this way. She wouldn't even let you get the chance. She would kill that song before it even came
like
out. Be serious.
I'm screaming. I'm screaming. Like, I heard you were trying to release
she,
something.
she would pull up like Olivia Pope. She would have Olivia
Like,
Pope come out and say, "You're not going to release that
like
song."
Carrie Hilson. Like Carrie Hilson. Where did she go? Like Keisha Cole. Where did she go? They
Trash.
tried her
Trash
once.
can.
Yeah,
You'll
no.
never get the chance to treat Beyonce like she's a piece of never. He did try to play. I do think it'll
Right.
be healthy for him. I think it'll be very healthy for him. I think he's going to drop us a song of the summer, something we can shake our little hips to, shake our little butts to, and I think we're gonna have a great time this summer. Shout out to Kendrick for making sure that Drizzy's still in the game and he's still keeping up and staying in shape. Thank you.
I mean, that's definitely a perspective. But we'll see. We'll see. It's May. Where it at, Drizzy?
It's definitely not that Megan Thee Stallion BOA song. Let me tell you.
I mean, Megan's never gonna drop a song on the nothing, but I do like it.
Okay.
Like
I feel like
she's
Glorilla's
gonna
that girl of the summer, I think.
she needs to go to her DUI calls. That's what she needs to do
That's mean.
instead of worried about the summer. She needs to
Or
worry about
probation.
that. Okay, she needs to worry about hiring an Uber driver. Please.
Please.
Speaking of things that the people are worried about, so Mary J. Blige apparently dropped her little boot line through Giuseppe's, and I mean, I really don't know the hysteria around this. I guess the girls were mad that it's not available at DSW. But it won't be available at DSW. I don't know. I'm like, why Mary J. Blige can't be expensive?
High end.
I don't really view her as someone that's like
Low ends.
I don't think luxury and think Mary J. Blige, but I never have thought like
TJ Maxx.
broke, and I think Mary J. Blige either. Like she's been famous for like my entire life. Like she should have lots of money. Like, is she a Capricorn?
She is a Capricorn.
No, they got some money.
She's a Capricorn.
But apparently the blacks are real upset about that online. I mean, I guess they really liked the boot. It was okay. It was a nice boot. It's $1,000. I mean, if you really want it, I think you can get it. I don't know.
I feel like the girls were upset because they want the boots. You know what I'm saying? Like
They want the
everything
boobs.
about my life is giving. I'm pulling up this winter with a Mary J. Blige boob, a Mary J. boob. You see what I'm saying? And I
I'm
really
screaming.
wanted it. I think the hating is coming from outside of the club because they cannot get in. The reason why I'm saying that is because I also can't get in. I'm not paying $1,000 for no Mary J. Blige boots. But if they
I'm
were
screaming.
at the DSW, let me tell you, I'm getting three pairs.
You would
I'm
have
getting
got
three.
them.
I'm getting the black, the cheetah, because you know it's
I'm
going to be
screaming.
cheetah, and the silver.
I'm screaming.
Okay, and I'm going to do my little dance.
I mean, apparently they sold out, so people did get the boot,
Oh man, I
but
didn't get a chance to get the boot. I couldn't
no,
get it
you
on
didn't get a chance to
Klarna
get the boot, baby.
Afterpay.
You probably
I
could
think
get it on Klarna.
I could.
You probably could get it on Klarna. Um, but I don't know. I just think the girls were really they were in a tizzy about that all day. I was like,
I would.
I didn't know
I
y'all thought like.
Mary J. Blige
I
and
mean,
boots.
people definitely like Mary J. Blige for her fashions. You know, that's not someone I've ever been pressed to see at a Met Gala red
I
carpet.
have.
But the people like I'm not a big Mary J. fan.
Are you
Like I don't
not?
dislike her.
Oh, I think you need to take a
Mm,
lap. Take a lap. Take a lap.
um, she's cool. Like she's a cute girl. I like the beat. But now what is a good song by her is I've done enough crying.
First of
That's a hit.
all, we're
Now
not here. Here's the thing.
that
You're
is a hit.
never gonna look at me in my face and tell me that you're not a Mary J. Blige fan, and then say I've done enough crying. It's a good song. First of all, hateration, holleration in this dancery. Are you crazy? That
Now that song's
has
overplayed.
let's get it crown. You're crazy. One, Mary J. Blige is the black population's auntie. There is nobody else that we can look at and say that's my auntie Mary. Mary, and then also there's nobody else who goes by first name, middle initial, and last name. Nobody else does that. Mary J. Blige. Be serious. That's not her full. That's her full ass name. What do you think her middle name
I'm
is?
screaming. Joanna.
Mary Jane Blige. It's probably Joe.
It's not
It's
Jane.
probably Joe. Mary
It's
Joe.
something with the Joe.
It's probably Mary
It's like Joe
Joe.
or Joanna.
Mary Jo
It's
Blige.
gotta
And
be.
that's why the J. But there's nobody who's giving you Mary J. Blige energy. First of all, the boots are iconic. She's been an auntie her whole life from the moment that she was 22 years old. She's been giving auntie for years.
What's crazy about Mary J. Blige is like people don't say this. I don't know. I always thought she was like in her 40s. So to find out that she's just now like
Entering into like
50
50s.
something,
Yeah.
I'm like, you really have been an auntie since you were 16 because I thought you were grown as
The
hell.
auntie is
Like
on her
I thought you were
aura.
grown,
It's on her
grown.
spirit. It's something
Like
about her gives your auntie that's pulling up to the cookout. She just got off of work. She's a little tired, so don't mess with her too hard. But she is definitely gonna pour up a cup of brown liquor, and she's gonna have a good time. But she's
mhm.
gonna leave a little bit early to go get with her man that is outside waiting in the car. That's what she gives,
she also she also gives me auntie that's like, grown people talking.
and
That's what
get
she
your
gets. Grown
kid.
people talking.
Why is she?
Get your child.
Why is she here? Why is she pulling up talking to me about
Like
that?
she gonna give you a hug, but like grown people talking. Like
Go
what
play down in the little playroom where the kids is at.
um but I don't dislike her. I just I'm not ever gonna like go in the car and put on Mary J. Blige. Like that's
Never real love. The here's
it's nice on the commercials. I like it on the
the
commercials.
30
For
the
like the Twix bar or something.
not the Twix bar child. The 30-year-old women 30 to like 38. Mary J. Blige is in
Hmm.
that car on the playlist every time you get in a car with them. In that car on the playlist. So maybe you're just too
Maybe I
young.
just
Maybe she's not your gen. Maybe she's not your generation. I'm going down. I'm going down. Come on. We're getting the
I'm going
boots.
up,
We're
baby.
in love with Mary J. She's the auntie that we
Mm-mm.
always wanted. Come on, that's our girl.
Mm-mm.
So we're gonna get the boots. We're gonna get well. They're sold out. So next drop, Mary.
They're sold out, so y'all aren't gonna get the boots. But
Make them affordable
next
next time,
time,
though, Mary. I understand people just want the boots. That's a great problem to have. Give us a little lower end brand that you can sell in TJ Maxx that I can throw on for the winter time, please. For 2020, what is it? 2024. Give us a boot. Give us an affordable boot. We love you, Mary. But I do think it's kind of messed up that she priced outside of her price range for the people who listen to her. You
well,
understand?
apparently on Twitter they were saying that they think that her generation is like 30s, 40s, 50s, late 30s, and they can afford $1,000 boot. I'm
I
like,
don't think so.
I don't think
I
so
don't
either.
think
I'm like,
that.
I think we live on like internet TikTok where everyone is
Making
rich
over
and
six
Instagram,
figures, yeah.
but I'm like, you know, if you go to the grocery store, them people can't afford. Everybody's not on
Everybody's not
Instagram.
getting boar's head. They're getting regular deli
Like
meat.
they're getting Publix turkey.
They're not getting boar's
Like they're
head.
not getting Boar's head. Like so, I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm sure, I'm sure if they could afford the boot, they would have got the boot and they wouldn't be
And they wouldn't
complaining
be complaining. I don't
about the boot.
necessarily.
I'm like,
I do think a little. I do think a little shame on her for going a little bit outside of her core audience's price range. When I think of Mary J. Blige's target audience, I think of like 35 to 50, maybe
mm-hmm,
38 to 50. Like if you're a true Mary fan, and I'm thinking that
mm-hmm.
you make a good amount of money, but you have children. So you wouldn't just
You have children.
necessarily just go out of your way to drop $1,000 on a boot. I feel like she's getting a very core niche of her audience. I think people who love Mary range from a very broad range of people. I think you can have your aunties that are, you know, got wick. And I think you could take it all the way up
I'm
to
scared.
people who are a little bit older. I mean, who have a little bit more disposable income. But I don't necessarily like. There's certain core audiences. Like I feel like Beyonce fans are
But
a little bit
even
more
I
high
was literally
end.
gonna they and I would say I think they are too because they'll spend their last dollar on like Beyonce products. But even I'm gonna just step it up. I don't think any celebrity should be having that high
A
end
high
of
end
products. Like
brand.
even when Rihanna had like that Fenty fashion brand, the shit went out of business.
Yeah.
Why? Because no,
Yeah.
like that's when I'm gonna spend $1,000+ on clothing. I want it from a real label that's reputable. And I mean, Mary's is through Giuseppe, so it makes sense. But I'm like, I think celebrity brands should be affordable for celebrity
I
audiences if
agree.
it's Gen Pop.
It
Gen
should it
Pop.
should it should
Like,
cover at least 50 to 60% of the general population of our target audience. I don't think you should be making
so
product for the 10% of your
at
audience. That's a
all.
little
Yeah.
strange. So Mary, I don't know. We all watch Power Book 2. I don't know who's buying Giuseppe's and we watching Power Book 2. You know, I don't know who's
And
buying
she said,
doggone
y'all can
Luke.
afford this. She said, if y'all can afford this Star subscription, you can afford this
Do you
boot.
remember that Star subscriptions
But
be like 50 cents? They literally be like
I ain't
38
never had a Star
cents.
subscription.
That's true.
I ain't never had a Star subscription.
Interesting fact about me,
Like,
I've never had a subscription to anything. I just have everything logged in for other
oh, so
people.
we knew you wasn't getting the boot.
So I was never
like,
getting that boo. Hey, Mary, catch me at
like
ADSW, sis.
that you gonna have to wait till it's at Marshalls.
Absolutely.
Like,
Even if she would have gave us like even if she would have gave us like a Macy's, Mary. I think Mary J. Blige,
I
Macy's J.
think
Blige.
a Jessica Simpson type of
I
thing.
think Mary. I think you would have sold
See,
it.
now we're gonna get ate up.
Sorry.
We're gonna get ate up. Twitter is gonna be like, y'all are the
I
problem.
think
Mary
you
J.
would have
Blige is gonna
sold
do
us,
it.
Mary. I think you would have made more money if you would have popped that in Macy's and allowed the aunties that already had the Macy's card to go and
Yeah,
pick
because
it
they acting
up.
like it's they talking about it's sold out. I'm like, well, it was only 200
Yeah.
pairs, so you made
What
not
is
that
that?
much
Two hundred
money. You could have
thousand. You
made
made
a
200,000. Let's do
yeah,
math quickly. Quickly.
like like you could
Made a
have just went to
million.
the Macy's and made
She
a
could have
lot
made a
more.
million.
You
A
know,
$200 boot and sold 100,000. She could have. Well, maybe like $500 boot and maybe sold 100,000. You could have made half
either
a
way,
million.
either way, it could have been
It
more.
could have been more. It could have been more. We're okay with it. Mary, we're not going to get the boot. We are going to, support you. We might go to the concert. We're going to give you a stream listen. That's all we can afford to do, Mary. We're sorry.
I'm not gonna do none of it, but I send my love.
We said
Like,
send your love. All right.
I'm not doing any
But
of it.
yes,
But
speaking of love, what a great
I'm screaming.
segue. We have been keeping up with the Joneses. I know that you guys all watched Love is Blind. Most of our listeners have watched Love is Blind. It's literally the dating show of
Mhm.
Netflix. And we got to see Clay and AD not get married, and he played completely in her face. Never seen somebody play in somebody's face in my life
Definitely in her
on
face.
national television the way we saw. And so recently, our little homeboy Clay, after he was crying on the reunion and made us all like him again, is hanging out with
Mm-hmm.
Selena Powell. And if everybody doesn't know who
Mm-hmm.
Selena Powell is, she is kind of an Instagram. I would describe her as the superhead of our generation.
That's a crazy thing to
I
say.
would describe her as that. And so he was hanging out with her, and it was all over Instagram to the point where our good friend Clay's mother commented on the story, created a story, and basically told him that he needs to go to
Mm-hmm.
church and repent for his sins, for we all fall short of the glory of God. And
I'm screaming.
then his publicist came in and said, "I have no idea. I don't work with him no more." And so it's been a drama. He went on to say that he thinks that Selena was using him for the clout, and he just kind of was going
Mm-hmm.
along with it. What are our thoughts on it? Because I have a lot of thoughts on it. What are yours, Jay?
Well, first of all, I'm trying to figure out what clout does Clay think he has. Like, I'm like, you really have to be tied into like reality show universe to
Yeah.
know. First of all, like someone's probably listening to this thing. We talking about Clay Aiken.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a star.
you is not that famous. Like, you's not that famous. First of all, and I'm like, also, we saw your house on the damn show. You ain't
Mm.
that wealthy. You're
Mm.
not wealthy either. So like using you for clout. I mean, how bad did the girl want a Zaxby sandwich? Like, what are you offering? I'm just okay. I think that Clay. I watched his little interview where he was talking about that relationship. He was like, he's addicted to women. He's addicted to lust, and I think maybe he just likes I think we all were watching Love is Blind in real time and looking at AD and looking at Clay, and it's like he likes the Instagram booty girls. And that's what Selena essentially is. So I'm like, you just got caught up with your type. And now
Yeah.
you're acting like that's not your type. Like you was never looking for an AD type of girl. You was looking for your Instagram big booty model girl. And now you can get them because you got a little bit
Mhm.
of clout. Um, and so yeah, that's what I
I
think.
completely agree.
And Mama saw her son out loud. Yikes.
I mean, I completely agree with you. I think the issue there when it came to AD was I think he tried to make it seem like AD was his type.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we were all like, "Hey, I don't think that she's his type," he was kind of trying to gaslight us. I felt a bit gaslit
Deaf.
during the season when we would be like, I don't think he's that attracted to her. I don't really think that she's who he would typically go for." And he was kind of riding the fence and trying to be like, "She's so gorgeous, she's so beautiful, she's everything that I would want." And I was kind of like, I don't think so. I think you're looking for a racially ambiguous BBL girly, and so
He's looking for his BBL Drizzy.
BBL Drizzy. He's looking for BBL Drizzy. And so he was looking for her and he was trying to gaslight us. And so we were like, I think you just kind of want to be on TV. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what he was given.
Deaf.
And I feel like he didn't want to look stupid on TV. And he kind of just went through with the wedding and then still pretended to look stupid. The issue with that is I
Mm-hmm.
do feel like now that you're out here in these streets, you've given us a completely different, because when you cry, I'm not going to lie, when he cried on that reunion, he won me over a little bit. He won me over. I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad.
And that's the problem.
Black women.
That's the
Black women
problem.
just, a man can
Yes.
cry and
Stand
we
up.
do need to stand, we need to stand up.
Stand up. Like, turn the TV off.
And think about what he did, not necessarily what he's
like,
crying about.
turn the volume down.
And stand up. and walk away from the table.
Like,
Because he got me when he cried on that reunion and said, "She's the love of my life. I regret that I did that to her." Da, da, da. And I'm like, oh my god, he wants her back. I thought they were gonna get back together.
I was kind of going for it, but when like they never really got back together, it was like, okay, so he
He was
just
just playing,
was
and then you show up
talking.
with that girly, and then I think he was with another little like OnlyFans girl, and I was kind of like, oh girl,
I'm
mm,
sure he is. Like I'm he because I'm like, okay, realistically, right? If you're going Love is Blind and like you're not white, so you're black, so you have a lot of like that's a white show essentially. So if you're a black person, you stand out. You come back to like black Instagram, black Twitter, you pop it.
yeah,
You can get all the hoes because you got, a different level of clout and notoriety now. And though you don't got no money, you got some clout, which is what more than what most people got.
that's
So
true.
to me, it's like you're just like I don't know what the next step for a Love is Blind cast member is. I would think you would just have a lot of
You would
hoes.
just have a lot of,
Like,
yeah, and a little bit of clout. You
like
probably get a couple sponsorships or maybe Boohoo Men,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
ASOS
like some
Men, yeah,
sponsorship,
and like maybe you're making probably $120,000 a year just as an influencer.
just as an influencer. But and I mean, people want that lifestyle, so I can see that being attractive. But I think he's trying to pretend like he's like this wholesome, good black, wholesome black man that's trying to like
Yeah.
find a wife. And it's like,
Hmm.
I'm sure you're just trying to have like fun. Like this is almost like you just got a record deal.
Yes.
Like, and you're on tour. Like
I
you're gonna be clapping them cheeks. Like
I think for me when we're talking about like the whole Clay situation, I do think that like if I was a single girl and was approached to be on Love is Blind, I would absolutely do it just because one, you get the clout. You're gonna get the clout,
hmm
even if you best case scenario, you leave with a man, right? And you're married. You start your
hmm
family and you start a couples channel. Worst
Right.
case
I'm screaming.
scenario, you're single, you're ready to mingle, you're having a good time, and you become a sponsored girl for fashion. You become a Fashion Nova partner. Either way,
Right, right, right.
you're living your best life. Unless you have anything else going on, like you have a solid corporate career where you're going to be a CEO or something like that, and you don't have any desire.
hmm
Go on Love. A lot of you people go on Love Is Blind. Go on Married at
And
First Sight. Go on these little shows. You can come out with a best case scenario.
And then also, if you are a female and you're on that show, there's probably some rich man somewhere that's watching it that might even just some football players, some whatever that's going to follow
Think
you
you're
just
cute.
because, oh, that's that girl from that TV
Mm-hmm.
show. She's
She's a
a
good
good
woman.
woman. I'm going to show her how she
Mm-hmm.
should have been treated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I mean, there's somebody approached me for a reality show. I mean, I'm gone tomorrow.
Can I be
Like, and I'm
if
going to
you
give
go?
y'all
Can
the
I be your
promo code.
friend that like comes on and goes? So why do you want to be with my friend? Can you be that one? Can
Yeah, you
I? I
can.
would love to be on the
Yeah.
show. I just want to be a friend of.
Yeah.
I don't need to have the
Yeah.
peach. I just want to be friend of.
I'm screaming. Um, Well, that was Clay and his love scandal. Now, let's transition to like the biggest scandal
Mm-hmm.
of current day, which is Diddy, all of that mess. I'm sure everyone's up to date on all of the lawsuits and drama surrounding Diddy right now. So this weekend, or I don't know if it was Friday, a video was released of him essentially just assaulting Cassie in a hotel hallway, and it's very disturbing video. It's very uncomfortable to watch. Um, Recently, as I think this morning, Diddy has released a video responding to that and like addressing it, which is the first time I think he's really addressed directly any of all of these allegations. What are our thoughts on that? Because I'm sure we have a gazillion.
He needs to go to jail, prison.
He does need to go.
Actually,
He does
prison.
need to
I
go.
need him in federal
Like,
prison, not necessarily county jail. He needs to go to federal prison. We
hello,
want him in the orange, and we want
we
him
do.
to not have access to a phone to take them prison pictures. One.
I'm screaming.
Two, I do feel like it is a really crazy thing because one, I feel like when Cassie has always came out with her allegations in the past, or just kind of she said certain things about Diddy in the past, and I feel like people didn't really want to believe her. I don't really understand why, because I feel like Diddy is someone who, if you were to tell me he is abusive, I would never look at you and go, I can't see it out of Diddy. It's just, he seems like he has a temper from what we've shown, what he's shown on even national television with like making the band and all the other things that he's done in front of the camera. He shows to have a temper. He
Mm-hmm.
shows to always be reprimanding somebody in a real serious way. So I could only imagine
Mm-hmm.
what it's like to work with him off camera, let alone be in a relationship with him. So I think that it's a great example of how we have our black billionaires and our black moguls, and we put them on a pedestal and make it seem like they're just above reproach. And that's just not true. I feel like Diddy is a billionaire or close to being a billionaire, yes. But I think he can still be a very deplorable human being, regardless of whether he's a
Mm-hmm.
billionaire or not. And I think as Black people in our community, and I hate to get up on my soapbox about this, but I feel like as Black people in our community, there's a lot of allegations going around about a lot of people. And I feel like in Hollywood, when you hear those same allegations over and over again for years, there's a lot of truth
Mm-hmm.
to it. And I do think that like Black people don't like canceling our successful Black people, specifically our successful Black men, because I don't necessarily know if they even care about canceling Black women. I think they'll do that in a heartbeat. But
They'll do it.
when it comes to our successful Black men, I think we'd be, hesitant to cancel them or hesitant to call them out on whatever they have going on. But I feel like believe the rumor. If we've been hearing that Diddy's been abusive and he's been having all these crazy parties and he's been a bit of a predator for 10 years, what do you want us to like?
Hello.
Why are we shocked because we saw a video? When she came out
You're
with,
shocked?
don't be shocked. When we saw the
Like,
when we got the allegations from the lawsuit, I was like, oh, looks like he's being caught up.
the lawsuit was enough for me. I think if you grew up watching like Making the Band, or like when he literally was like really thinking about that scenario, right? These girls are under the age of 25. They're in
Yes.
a room with Diddy. They're on a
19.
record label. They went through, they're very young girls, and he's yelling at them like they stole his wallet out of his side pocket. Like he like really looked like, at the time it was like, well, this is what the industry is. You have to be tough. You have to
Mm-hmm.
work hard. It's like, no, that's probably a bit
It's a
much.
lot much.
Um, and so when Cassidy released all of her, her lawsuit, to me it was like that was enough evidence. That lady was with that man for like a
A
decade.
decade.
Why would she lie?
Why would she lie?
Like she knows more about them than most people will ever know. So that was just the pure evidence. I think the video is now something for those people that, like you said, that kind of have this um respect for like black men that are billionaires, that have made it, that have made like that just want to keep them esteemed. I
Mm-hmm.
think this just gives that visual evidence of like, this is who this person is, that is going to run in the hallway almost butt naked to attack this woman, who again is like 30 years younger than him.
So much younger
So it's
than
not like,
him.
so it's like that's a whole different level of crazy within itself, different topic of crazy. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I think sometimes as like black people, we have to do better about holding people accountable regardless of what they have achieved, because I think sometimes like money does not make someone a
A
good
good
person.
person.
Success does not
Mm-hmm.
make someone a good person or an example
Mm-hmm.
or someone that we should be praising. It's literally just someone who has made $1 billion. And then how do we even value that? That's a whole different conversation about capitalism and
And you know
black
how I feel
people,
about
blah, blah, blah.
capitalism.
But yeah, I'm curious to see where, you know, how this lands for Diddy. I think right now he's doing a really bad PR job. I think his video today was very
Appalling.
F, thumbs down. Be so fucking serious. I think that, I want that Gayle King interview. I mean, that's still not going to save him. But if you wanted to pretend to be accountable for something, you go do that Gayle King interview. Like,
And my thing is, to address the apology video, it was silly. And I really
Mm-hmm.
don't believe he should have even said anything. I feel like he should have just stayed in that hole that he crawled out of. He should have went back into it, stayed in there. And I don't believe he should have
Mm-hmm.
even had anything else to say, because I feel like this is literally a video of you abusing your ex-girlfriend. There's nothing that you can say to make that right, other than I've grown and I've
Mm-hmm.
learned and I went to therapy and XXXXY. But it's like, okay, but we're watching the video of you beating your girlfriend. So at a certain point, it's just like, you should have just stayed under the radar, had your lawyers release a statement, and just had us at least try to
Cause
forget
you're
about it and move on.
cause you're in the house with Russell Simmons in that little
Because he's running from charges
buckle,
too, quiet as it's kept,
right?
allegedly.
In that little cabin overseas, y'all are over here sharing
Hiding out
rooms
on the
because
run.
from everything going on because you're nasty. You're a nasty
You're a
man.
mean girl, Katie
And
Heron.
you're a mean girl.
And so my thing is, you should have
Please.
went. You shouldn't have done it. You should have had your lawyers release a statement. Your lawyer should have released a statement, and you should have kept staying in hiding until we at least forgot
And you should
for
have took your
6 months
ass.
at least.
And you should have took your ass to Gail King to pretend to be accountable. She would have ate you up, and then
And you should have put
everybody would have felt
and you should have
comfortable
put some moisturizer
coming
on
out
your
talking to shit.
face. You should have put some moisturizer on your face. Because why were
Yeah, he
you
has
looking
really bad
so
skin for a
ashy and
billionaire.
misshapen? Why were you looking like
Like,
that? You thought that was gonna make us like you? That you was looking
like
so dry in the face?
for him to have so much money, I'm like, you are using nothing on your
Not a
face. I mean,
Cetaphil, not a
what's
freaking
it called? The Ordinary? Is
The
that the
Ordinary. He could
skin
have put
moisture?
some hyaluronic
Like,
acid on
that's at
there.
Target. That's at
He
Target.
looked like he hasn't drinking water in months.
Too much Ciroc. It's Ciroc.
The pores.
Oh, and y'all need to stop drinking Ciroc.
Who
Oh my
is drinking
goodness, please.
Ciroc, Jalen?
I don't know.
Be
Somebody's probably
serious
drinking it,
now.
not
Who
me.
is
I don't know
drinking
what people
Ciroc?
drink.
I think, but I will
I
say, I
don't buy
think
bottles,
Ciroc
but
actually divested from their relationship with him before the allegations came out. So I do actually think that might have
oh,
something
okay.
to do with um, like some
Him
warnings,
sharing
just
rooms
like
with
how
Russell
Revolt, yeah, you
Simmons.
just how Revolt divested in him real early
Yeah.
on before, because they heard something on Horizon. I think Ciroc did too. So keep drinking Ciroc. What was your favorite Ciroc flavor when you were a young whippersnapper?
I was young whippersnapper that just drunk whatever was in front of me. So flavor,
Okay, so you weren't
child. I
high
just got
class.
whatever was free. Whatever was free was my favorite
So we
flavor.
know who can't afford the boots.
Who can't afford the boot? Who's not getting the boot?
We know who's
Is
not
me.
getting the boot, because I enjoyed the peach.
We're not gonna get up here and like endorse
I
Diddy.
mean,
No,
it's not his brand anymore. I mean, don't drink Ciroc, but drink Ciroc. It's whatever you guys want. If it's not Diddy's brand, then feel free to keep
don't
drinking it.
drink it. If
If it still
it
is,
is,
fact
then
check me
drink
in the
it.
comments, y'all. Is it his brand? If it is, let me know so I can stop. I was never drink. I'm a Tito's soda lime girl myself. You'll never
I'm
catch
screaming.
me. And at the very least, you might catch me with a Grey Goose. I don't necessarily know if I'm a Ciroc girl. Something about it gets very urban.
It is very
Somebody gets
urban,
very
and I don't know.
urban.
I've never liked Diddy though. So
Never.
outside, he ain't done nothing
Never.
good for nobody since he broke up Danny Kane.
Never. You know how we
So
said Mary J. Blige is your uncle? I mean your aunt that we love that comes to the
mhm.
things and says Dad. P. Diddy is your uncle that you do not like, boy. Oh my
Like,
God. Where you be like,
yeah,
I
he
do
is the
not want to
uncle
go to
that
Uncle Sean's house. That is him. Okay.
he's definitely the uncle that eats Thanksgiving in the room in front of the TV by himself because like everybody's just kind of like, oh hey,
And walks away.
let me get my plate and get me somewhere to
But
sit
he's married to a
comfortable.
very sweet woman who's like probably your favorite like aunt, and so
hmm
y'all go over there because you want to hang out with your aunt, and like they probably got a really nice house. It's big enough for Christmas and Thanksgiving, but you just be like, please don't talk to me, please.
And he's always the story when you leave. Like, did you talk to him? Yeah, I went over there and he said this, and
Mm-hmm.
his energy was. It's always the same gossip
The
about him. Like, yeah, he was
same.
weird. He did the most. he da 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 da.
And
Da.
when your
I
Aunt
um
Marjorie finally gets the courage to file for divorce, everybody is like, "We are so proud of you for
proud of
finally
you.
leaving that man."
Let's throw you a
Yeah,
party.
because he was the
So what do we
worst.
think? What do we think is going to happen with Miss Risha, with Miss
They
Kariri?
talked about that she's a
Um,
victim. Probably. I could see
I'm
it.
sure she is a victim. I'm sure she is a victim. I don't deny that she isn't. I think where Carisha is kind of losing the plot though is that she's been very defensive
Yes.
of Diddy. And she's been very team Diddy in a way that is like you would really think like they're on the same type of time, like that she's in on the plot, and
Yes.
I don't think that's a good look. Especially right now, especially since JT got hits and
I'm
Carisha
pretty
had
good.
Diddy and now
The hope you
Diddy
looking okay.
and Diddy is overseas sharing toilets.
Yeah,
So,
and the thing about it for me personally when it comes to Carisha is I think where I kind of get hung up is that just like everybody knew that this was coming, I you couldn't pay me to believe that she did not know this was coming because I feel like everybody knew that was in
absolutely.
his camp and or working and doing
Mhm.
business with him that this was coming, and everybody jumped ship right before things hit the fan, right? And so
Mhm.
there was a period of time where like Carisha, when stuff hit the fan, where Carisha was defending him in that very moment. And even with the Cassie lawsuit, I think Carisha was still being very, and
Mhm.
all the allegations came out and everything like that. I think Carisha was still being very defensive of Diddy. And in that way, even if you are a victim, if you're a victim and you also have experienced what other people have experienced, and then you see the allegations that come out to other people, I mean, allegations that come out,
Mhm.
and you're defending the person, I think that's where you kind of lost me. I think that's where Krisha lost me. It's like everybody knew that this was dropping, I want to say at least 60 days in advance, right? So for you to
Mhm.
still be so team Diddy the whole time all of the news was breaking, and then at the very end switch it up, it's kind of like it's too late, it's a little too late, and that's kind of where you lose me. If she would have came out and said like, hey, this is my story with Diddy and this is what the coercion and the abuse, emotional, mental, physical, whatever it is that I faced being with him, I think in that
Mhm.
instance, or she would have just distanced herself from it, I think people like Carisha enough to want to be on her side. But because
Right,
it was
right.
so like, y'all don't know him, y'all don't know what we got going on, like he don't treat me like that, like he's my blah, blah, blah. It was just kind of like, it's hard for me to believe that like you're a victim and or you recognize that you're a victim. You might not even recognize what you went through in a real way. She needs to go on Gail
I
and just play it like that.
I I think Carisha, yeah, she needs to figure out her PR move because I think she's been leaning on Diddy for her relevancy and like her uphill for the last like 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And I think she's gonna have to really do a real hard
Pivot. Hmm.
separation. And she needs to figure that out. And I mean
I mean,
fast. She needs
immediately
to go
too.
make up with she needs to go make up with JT. She need to call Santana. They need to get on TikTok and joke and
And do the
kiki, and
lives that they
they need to
used
figure
to.
out a
Yeah.
plan.
Hmm.
They need to figure out a plan because I think he will ruin them very easily in their brand. Um, so, do we think Jay Z is going down? I
I've
always
heard that
throw in
Jay
the
Z
Jay
is
Z. I always throw
allegedly.
in the Jay Z,
I've heard
but
rumblings allegedly of Sean Carter. I don't think Beyonce
like,
would ever let Jay Z go down in a real way. I think she has enough. I think Jay Z, between Jay Z and Beyonce, I think the issue with Diddy is he didn't have a Beyonce. I think Jay Z and Beyonce,
mm,
I don't think that Beyonce will let Sean go down in a real way. I think she's going to do what she needs to do to wipe the slates clean. I think she's going to call Olivia Pope and Associates and clear it
I'm
up
screaming.
and clear it up. I mean, email. I feel like Beyonce got Mark Zuckerberg on speed dial to go ahead
I'm
and
screaming.
clean that up quickly. Okay, I don't think.
But I think, but I think we're in a really interesting time within like just current day just because like with social media, Instagram, I think the things that celebrities used to be able to get away
Yes.
with, they just cannot get away
Mm-hmm.
with anymore. Like everyone has a outlet, everyone can explain themselves, prove things. There's just so many ways to back up like what you're saying. And there's just so much support out there for, an interest in these types of stories. I think a lot of people are going to get
I
caught up.
do.
I think within like the next this decade, I think we'll be hearing constantly a lot of information that they probably wish we would never hear,
Here.
that they
Mm-hmm.
used to be able to cover up. Even like, on a smaller scale, even the takedown of J-Lo and her attitude. It's like,
Yes.
we're getting so much
Mm-hmm.
like behind the scenes information
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. And I think, the big dogs are definitely going down.
You're definitely gonna have to
So
talk the talk and walk the
Beyonce,
walk.
you better call Miss Pope, and you better sing at her child's PTA meeting. You better sign a couple CDs. Like,
You
you
better
better do what you
do some
can,
private concerts
because
for Sweet 16 because baby,
it's like,
if that's going on with you with Sean, I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna do, Mama. We love you too much.
like,
I would hate to see you fall
and
from
I would hate
grace
to see it. I would
over
hate to
that
for that to
man, over
be
that
your
man,
thing. I would hate for that to be the thing that puts a stain in your
over
legacy.
that man, girl. Let him go,
Hello?
girl. If he's gonna do, but I will say, if we do hear this is Maggie's prediction. If we hear rumors of a split, Sean's going down.
He going
He's
down.
going down.
He's
If you
going
hear all of a
down.
sudden Jay Z and Beyonce you hear buzzings of a split, Sean's going down. Jay Z's going down.
Yeah.
So that's what I will say. When that happens, we'll come back on here and that'll
Yeah.
be the
And let
whole
y'all
that'll be
know.
the whole episode.
Y'all reference this. Y'all reference
If
this.
you hear all of a
You heard it
sudden
here. Exclusive.
Jay Z and
Exclusive.
Beyonce might be separating, he's going. Lawsuit is on the way to his house, boy. He's about to get served them papers.
Ready to send them
Ready to
papers.
send them papers. Speaking of being married,
Well, speaking of. Okay.
first of all, that's my line.
Uh,
Speaking of being married, we have had this really fun. I'm a TikToker, as much as everybody knows. Jalen's not a TikToker. He doesn't really believe in
I'll be
TikTok.
on the
He's
app.
on the app, but he's not a TikToker.
I take breaks. It's a lot of people talking. It's a lot of
It's a
information.
lot of information on there. But so we have been seeing this black wife effect to my new favorite song, $1 Million Baby. I don't know who it's by, but it's literally one of my new favorite songs in the world. And so we have the black wife effect. And so it's all about like people who are not black, men who are not black, who marry a black woman and then slowly glow up. So it's like this photo image timeline of like what they look like before they met their wife that was black, and then what they look like now. And they be looking fine. Like they be looking amazing once that black wife gets a hold of them. I love the trend. I think it just shows that black women, we elevate you. We're gonna get that style together. We're gonna get you together. We're gonna get that hair right. We're gonna get everything. We're gonna sauce you up. We're gonna slag you up. And I think it's just a great video proof of what we can do to a man. And so there's been some billionaires that also have been saying, like, if you have a black wife, it's having a black wife is for grown-ups, it's for grown men. Basically, we've been in the news recently as a black wife. We've been in the news recently, really having some good PR. And so I wanted to get your thoughts because with every good PR, we also have some haters. And we have had some black men get on TikTok and get on Instagram and get on Twitter and basically say that we not all that, and we have other things, we have other headaches associated with us that are not just looking cute and being swaggy that you will get being with a black woman. What are your thoughts?
Well, I heard too, some people were upset, or black men were kind of saying, like, I guess they were upset that so many black women were just with white men.
Yeah.
In general, just kind of like that conversation. I think my opinion on this topic is just very black men are like we were just talking about Clay and AD. It's like you're not going for most are not going for black women. They're going for those racially ambiguous women, Puerto
Puerto
Ricans,
Rican.
Caucasian women that they can find that makes them feel. I don't really know what the feeling is or what like the hold they have on them or like what the mindset shift is. But I don't know if I think that black men are going for black women in the way of like, they are truly the prize. I think they look at them kind of like, I think there are some that do, but I think a lot of them look at them like, they should always want me.
Yeah.
So let me go get me something. I'm gonna level up and get me something better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they're always gonna be there and I can always have them.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanna be, more valuable, more powerful, more important. I want me somebody that makes me, stand out. How did he get her? Um, and I think, if black women are getting chose by the white men and they stepping them up, living good, happy lives, it's real hard for a lot of black women to find spouses and
Yes.
become married black men. I ain't marrying black women. So I'm not mad at the trend. I think it's a great thing for black women. Um, great promo. Get you a black woman because y'all is old and you could be a billionaire and you gonna look as busted as Diddy look. So you might need to get you one tomorrow.
No, I agree with you. I think that I'm genuinely someone when it comes to black women, I definitely encourage black women to date 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 around, enjoy life,
Hmm.
see what's out there. You know what I'm saying? I do think that there is a very special. I'm married to a black man, so I do think that there's something very special about black love.
Hmm.
But I also feel like go where the market is. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel
Screaming.
like I feel like if you have been in this market and you have not been successful in this market of dating, I believe go
Hmm.
where the market's going to take you. I feel like go out and try something else or try something different. If that market isn't what you're interested in either, then yes, go find something else. I mean, like then come back to your market. But I do feel like when it comes to black women, I think we have such a loyalty to kind of a black husband black wife relationship and that black love relationship. And I do think, you know, be as open-minded as everybody else, you know, and see what else you can get.
No, for
Because I
sure.
feel like everybody else is out here mixing and mingling and figuring out what works best for them. And I do think that like that can be somewhat of a our biggest downfalls. We might be a little too loyal to the whole entire kind of vision of it all,
Hmm.
the vision of the community. And I do think that
Hmm.
I do think you could be successful. I don't think every black woman should go dated white man or Asian man or Latino man or Indian man. I don't think that, but I do think that there's a subset of black women who could really do well there. And could really find a really good love and a really good life and a really great relationship, a really great marriage. So it's really good to see the black wife effect and to see like, you know, interracial love with a black wife versus the interracial love that we see where it's never a black woman in that equation ever, you know, because it's not even just white men. I think I've seen some like Asian men, I've seen some Indian men, I've seen some
Hmm.
Middle Eastern men. So it's just really good to see. And I feel like it's also really good to see black women being publicized as like this great saucy like we're gonna glow you up type of vibe, because I feel like we're always getting the connotation that we're a lot to deal with or that we, you know,
Hmm.
aren't great wives or we have too much aggression or whatever it is. So it's like it's great to see like, oh look, you see how fine he became after
Hmm.
he had a black wife. And I do think
Hmm.
that the men, I don't know, I feel like you shut up, just shut up, just shut up, you know.
And I think too, like personally for me, it's just like I'm not saying like, oh, every black woman needs to go out there and get them a white, Asian man or whatever man that's not, black. But what I am saying is for me personally, I really don't like seeing older black women just be single and
Mhm.
just never like don't have any options because black men won't marry them. And it's kind of like, the black man controls, women don't propose to
Yeah,
men.
men
Men propose to
propose to
women. So it's
women.
like, so it's like they don't have a say in the matter. It's not like they can just be like, okay, well, sir, can you marry me?
Yeah.
Because like,
And then you have those
they
women that
don't.
are doing that. And
And
I'd rather
that
eat nail clippings than do that.
and that is I don't think I would ever encourage any of my soul sisters to do that. Um
And I was going
Ever.
to say, no offense if you've done it, but offense. Come on, sis. If you've done it.
No offense if you've done it, but this may not be the podcast for you. I think we're gonna have a lot more different
Because
opinions.
you're a specific
Because
type of mama.
your level of maturity is, you might need to find you something on your
We have
mama.
nothing in common if you've done that.
Like,
Okay.
so
Go ahead and thumbs down this, leave a negative comment, and go.
right.
Because we're done with you.
Block us, actually.
Before we block you.
Block
Because we're going to
us.
block you first. Are you crazy?
Like,
And then have you seen when they
baby,
get on the knee, bitch?
which is crazy. I hope they be wearing pants.
I've seen
Oh my
a
God, you
woman,
do that in a skirt or a dress?
I've seen a woman get on her knee. Oh, the way I would have just kicked you over before you got up.
And stay there.
And stay down, girl. Think about what you're doing, please.
Oh my God.
I could have imagine if you had a friend that was like, hey, I'm about to propose to Jermaine.
I would be like,
girl.
I'd be like, huh? I was like, this is a joke?
Jermaine? Your boyfriend?
You?
Of 7 years?
How you gonna do that? How do you plan to do that? Oh.
You're gonna do that?
We bring our own drinks to places like this.
Ooh,
I'm used to something a little bit different. I'm used to something a little bit different.
I would look at my friend and say, Cherie, be for real.
Now, be serious.
Cherie.
And since nobody's gonna tell you, I'm gonna have to.
You need to break up with him.
That is crazy.
You actually just need to take it a step further.
Yeah, you need.
You just break up with him, sis, because he's got you out of.
Propose a breakup.
He's got you out of pocket.
You need to propose a. You need to propose a breakup.
You shouldn't be in love with nobody that much to do nothing like that. I'm sorry.
Hello?
As a woman, you shouldn't love no man that much. I'm sorry. Who do you love that much?
Only man you should be kneeling to is Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
The Lord and Savior of your life.
Altar.
Period.
Like, that is the only man
that you should be kneeling and pulling out. And then what are you even pulling out? Do you remember when Chrissy proposed to Jim Jones on Love and Hip Hop?
No, and I never watched no.
She proposed. Jim Jones is still fiance because they're still not married. Proposed to him on Love and Hip Hop maybe 10 years ago.
Well, she's.
Do you see?
Because like that's.
And then imagine your friend says
and on TV.
On TV. That's what I was going to say. Imagine your friend says, "Hey, I just started this new show called Love and Hip Hop. I think I'm going to propose to Jermaine." Hell, girl, we wouldn't even be friends by the end of the conversation. The way she would have just been like, "I can't take everybody with me."
Did not like her because, like, they review those storylines before they get in there. Like, that's what we coming up with.
I would have had to call them on the back end and say, "Can we cut that? Can we cut that out?"
I feel like that's an HR issue. Like, you need to call HR if that's what they was telling you. Yeah, we like to see.
Honest, I know it honestly makes me sick to my stomach. The idea, and that's what. So I agree with you when it comes to Black women. It's like, girl, before you get on that knee, try to date outside of your race. Because if that's what it came to, you're already at rock bottom, baby. Yours only up from here. It doesn't matter who you date.
You've lost.
You can date women. And you would be probably better off.
Like, and probably have a good life. Okay. I mean, a great life.
Because if you're thinking about doing that, there was a TikTok that I had seen, and they were like, let's normalize saying I love you to men who aren't your boyfriend. And I was like, honey, the plot is here. And we are west.
Yeah, it's getting real unmodern.
It's a little too unmodern for me.
Y'all be calling me a boomer. Y'all be calling me a boomer, but shit. I don't know. They had some points.
It's sounding like your heart's going to be broken in about 60 to 90 days. I'm not even going to give it years. Your heart's going to be broken about 60 to 90. That man don't want you. If you ever My PSA is if you ever think about proposing to a man, just eat a
Let it
Snicker
go.
bar. You're not you when you're hungry, you know?
I know you're not you when you're hungry. In the good old words of Keisha Cole, you need to get if he don't wanna.
Period.
Love it the right where he ain't
It
gonna.
ain't where it's at,
You
it's where
need
he
to
wants to
play.
be.
You need to go play Mary J. Blige and buy them boots. Instead of buying that ring,
Buy
buy
them
them
boots
boots
and take
for a
you to the
thousand
club and
dollars.
find you another man. How about that?
Because be for
Yikes.
real.
So, tangent aside,
Um,
black wife effect, black men, we do want you. We just want you to want us and to do better. But if not, it's a really cute TikTok that's going viral. So if you don't want us, we can absolutely get the followers and get the
go see the
views.
ads.
Go check it out.
Go check out the ad.
But yes,
Speaking of Keisha Cole, we are also gonna let it go. So thank you for listening to our very first episode of the Little Pod That Could. And I hope you liked it and you come back and listen to us talk about other things again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Because we love to talk and hope you love to
we
listen.
love to talk you and you love to listen. And also let us know in the comments of our socials what we should talk about next. What are y'all interested in hearing about? Send us some interesting shade room posts or spiritual world posts. Let us know what y'all want to hear.
Spiritual world is
Spiritual
crazy.
world, honey. Let us know what y'all want to hear so that we are talking about what y'all want to hear, honey. And so we are so happy to have y'all listening to the first pod and keep subscribing. We are going to be on Apple Music. Ciao. Sorry.
Not that.
We're going to be on
We're gonna be on
Apple
Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please follow us, download this episode, leave a comment, like us, follow us on social media. We have more in the chamber for you. Episodes release every week. So stay subscribed, stay notified. We cannot wait to talk to you guys next week.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Deuce, deuce.
Bye.